am Orlando Jones, and I just want you to know that the Moana Nui Podcast will be starting soon. Stay tuned, yo.
I'm Veronica Taylor, and from myself and Ash Ketchum, I just want to say, Moana Nui, I choose you!
Hey, my name is Alan Z. I'm with Moana Nui Podcast. I'm here at Rangerstop with
Barbara Goodson.
So I'm really excited for this interview because Barbara has done work with Power Rangers as Rita Repulsa.
Empress Rita, yes.
And so let's start with the question that people maybe want to hear for this convention. So, how do you feel being part of this legacy as such an iconic character and playing a part in it?
I'm kind of blown away that it lasted this long and I'm still in the franchise. I mean, I am blessed. I feel gratitude. I feel honored. I feel my heart is full with appreciation for the fans that have come and tell me, I am their childhood. Boy, I could, if I charged for how many times I've been told that I'd be a rich woman today. I am their childhood. And I say it was my childhood too. So yes, I'm very pleased and very honored.
So speaking of your fans, I know you have a lot here. With this weekend, was there any kind of fan moments that struck out to you? That kind of meant a lot to you?
The ones that actually gave me things that were shocking, I just got this booklet of my history as Rita that I can't wait to read because, there's all that backstory from Japan. And that was incredible. And now we've got these coins that JC Alcantara. I forgot if it's JC. But anyway, phenomenal things that are still being created. And finally, she has an action figure or a bunch of action figures after never having anything for the first couple of years. I mean, the first decades. Yeah. So that's incredible. And just, again, the people and the little ones. Oh, I would love to be a grandmother someday. Mm-hmm. And I get to see these cute little babies that are wearing things like the Red Ranger costume. It's continuing.
So in addition to Power Rangers, I know you've done a lot of work in voicing a lot of characters in animation and anime. So I wanted to ask you, do you feel in your approach with acting, with something like anime, which is more Japanese versus American animation, is there any kind of approach that you feel is a little different for you to adjust to get into character? Or do you feel it's pretty much similar in terms of voice acting for cartoons?
Well, it's easier in cartoons only because there's no human being that you are trying to dub into English, even if it's a Japanese anime. You're not getting an essence of a human being to begin with, so it's not like taking their spirit. Well, that's a little dark. But what I'm saying is when I do dubbing a lot of foreign films into English for all those, Netflix and all the streaming companies, I'm glad to do it. It is an art form to do it. But you can never get the whole essence when you're doing a human being, even if it's English to English, because every human being has their own energy. But it is a challenge. And when it feels like I've got it in the pocket, it's very satisfying. But it takes more work to do the live action people.
I can imagine, just because you have to match their energy and you have to make sure you're on. Speaking of live action, I know you were part of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they're about to do a live action. Are you excited for that?
I'm not aware that I'm doing that.
No, not you doing that. I'm saying that it's. Are you excited that it's going to come into fruition?
Sure, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trip you up there.
No, I wish I am an on-camera actor as well. It would be nice if I was in that,
So do you, as far as your preference, do you enjoy being on camera more, or do you enjoy voicing different characters?
It depends. I am very glad that when I put on the Rita costume, there's one screen test with me as Rita when they ran out of Japanese footage, where there was a chance that I would be Rita with my whole acting, face and everything. And I had the screen test, and I put that costume on, and that head was heavy. And I'm thinking, 10, 20 years from now, that would be, neck surgery. So I'm glad Carla got the job. And it made more sense that she had a youth potion, and because she looked like Machiko Soga, and Carla Perez did such a great job. So that was one job I was glad I didn't get.
Okay.
As an on-camera actor, I love doing that if it's a good script and it's well done, professional work. But my main, love is it will always be voiceover.
Right. Being that you have such a lengthy filmography that you've worked on, are there any projects that you're particularly proud of, or that you're part of?
Yeah. Well, I got an award for Mother Talzin.
Okay.
Mother Talzin, for Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I can't talk about it, but she's coming back for something.
Okay.
Small thing. But that was a thrill that she's coming, that I'm getting to recreate her. I love that character. And working, George Lucas approved, and that was nice. There's just so many things that I get to do and recreate. World of Warcraft, there's, Lady Vosh. I would love to do Granny Chiyo again for Naruto. I'd like to do new stuff, but I'm happy that I'm just continuing working. I'm very, very fortunate to not have to say, I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm not retired.
I mean, your filmography is so extensive. Any big
I'm old.
Well, I mean, I didn't say that. I'm saying it's very impressive, and it's it shows how much work you put in, and it's an iconic piece of work that you've everything that from Avatar to anime you've done, and it's I think it's great. It shows how much
Thank you.
You've done and accomplished.
What's crazy is Dragon Ball, and I was Zero, not Kid Goku, but I was that was in the beginning was Dragon Ball Z, and who knew that was going to be such a big hit? And now I'm in that group too.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know there's stuff that you may not be able to share with us, but if there is anything in particular that you can, as far as upcoming stuff, you may want to talk about. If not, no worries, we can leave that out.
There is a video game called Asgard's Wrath that I'm allowed to talk about, and it's really cool. And I'm one of the weavers. I'm the ancient voice weaver. There's 3 different women. There's the young weaver, there's the middle-aged weaver, and there's the craggy weaver. Mm-hmm. And that is a really cool video game. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm doing that.
Yeah. So for fans of Rangerstop Orlando, if they want to find you, do you have any websites or social media you want to talk about?
I'm terrible, but I have some stuff. I've got, Streamily to get personal stuff with me. Mm-hmm. I did Color World. I don't know if it's still around. I did that. And Cameo. And LinkedIn a little. And I have a Facebook page that I'm terrible at seeing. I'm so bad. But that's about it. I'm just, don't do Instagram, don't do Twitter.
Honestly, such a flex because your resume speaks for itself. You don't need to be like us peasants and have to use social media for jobs. So, it's
I'm
not
just bad at it.
No. It's good. You don't need it. And if you guys want to talk to her she's on Cameo. So
Cameo or
get that personal, that personal 101. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It was an honor speaking to you.
Thank you. And thank you, fans. Thank you.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand,
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation, colonizers call for annexation. Network out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. We will.